Hey there, it's Collette Knits, and it is April the 15th. It's a Wednesday today, and I'm coming at you from just outside of Toronto, Ontario. It's been almost a month of this quarantine, self-isolation stuff. I've been off work now for almost a month, and that's been okay because that is the safe thing to do. No matter what, it's just the safest option for everybody right now. So I have some knitting to show for it. We have some other stuff too to show for it. New space, as you can see. What we did was we had lots of time in our hands, so we decided to switch up our rooms a little bit. Right before this was the second biggest bedroom in the house, and my bed was in here and my dresser and everything, and we had the smallest room as like a little mini TV yarn room, which is where I was podcasting from before, and we switched it up and put my bed in the smaller room and made this the little TV room. So my big shelf of yarn is still in that room in my bedroom, but now my bed's in there too. So just a little nicer spot to podcast from. We're really liking this. We get lots of nice light in. We like the position where our bed is now because it's on an inside wall, so it's a little warmer in the winter. We expect it to be. It's not, we haven't noticed now, but in the winter it tends to be pretty cold in here. So we're just excited about that. And in this spot I've got my lava lamp set up, a TV, and hopefully we can get the lighting right. I don't really know how it will go with the lighting. I have a feeling that when I post this and on a different screen when you watch it, the lighting will be very different than what I'm seeing right now. But we'll see. I have a co-host. Everything's backwards. Okay. That's Jasper, my co-host. We'll see how long he stays here. He's already pretty fed up with me and snoring away, so we'll see how this goes. So, I podcasted on March 30th, according to my notes. So that means usually by now, if it was a normal work time, I probably wouldn't have anything finished because I'm not that fast of a knitter. But I've had lots of time to knit, so I have some finished stuff. So, this I just finished today. This is one of the Lucille socks. And this is where I was. I haven't weaved in ends or anything like that. So last time I podcasted, I was right here. That doesn't seem right. Yes, because these are toe up, so that is right. So I had done the heel. I was right here last time on the 30th. And I did all this. And then at the top I did a little extra, like I did the cuff in the, just continued with the striping sequence, and then did a little extra black on the top, the cuff. So that's been good. These will go to my boyfriend when they're both done. I'll start the other one soon, but I'm trying to give them to him for Christmas or his birthday. I don't think he will be able to wait that long because he loves hand knit socks. And unfortunately, he always gets the short end of the sock knitting stick because he has three pairs of socks, I think, that I've knit him that didn't fit him properly, and they were kind of reject socks, so he actually fits my recipe for my foot the best. So I've been trying to follow that, so hopefully these will fit him properly. I really, really, really enjoy knitting these. I eventually want to become, once I get some whips done, maybe a more monogamous knitter so I can knit socks faster because I really enjoy them. And the self-striping socks, they just go so fast. I don't know if I'll ever become a monogamous knitter. I have been lately just to try to finish stuff, but we'll see. This is a really sweet stitch marker from Bunny and Toot, who is from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And it's like a little light bulb, like a little Christmas light bulb. And I really like this stitch marker. The Bunny and Toot company is owned by Danielle, and she makes some beautiful stitch markers. It's a little light bulb, and it reminded me of Christmas, and it also reminded me of Stranger Things. So I think I got that about a year ago in an update, a Christmas update, I think. And then the yarn is Scrumptious Purl in the Lucille colorway. And I love it. And that is a Walking Dead reference. So these were my Walking Dead socks that I only knit when we were watching The Walking Dead. And then life changed, and I was knitting them all like the last 2 days. I just whipped these up, which is great. You know, I can finish a sock I can finish a leg and a cuff in like 2 days, so I don't know why I don't do that more often. Yeah, I got her Scrumptious Purls yarn comes in a gobstopper ball, and you can pay for the extra coordinating mini. I did in this case, but I do think I would still have enough for full pairs of socks without the mini. And I do think I'll still have enough for this mini to become my other set of socks and a piece on my scrappy sock blanket, or go into future socks or something like that. I'm just taking my stitch marker off. Yeah, so that's great. So those are done. So I'll start the next one pretty soon, maybe tonight. These are just a toe-up sock with the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And what I do is when I'm done my heel, I put my sock like this and just knit until the cuff gets to roughly, or the leg gets to roughly the same length as the toes, and then knit the rest of the cuff. That way my socks the leg of them is about the same length as the foot, and that seems to be fine. I asked my boyfriend, he liked that too, so that was good. So yeah, those are done. Okay, so the next thing I finished this a little bit ago, but then I just, took a little while to weave in the ends, even though this took me like 30 minutes watching TV. But this is my Baby Vertebrae, and this is a pattern by Kelly van Niekerk, I think is how you say it. And this is with a ball of Artfil Ombre. So this was an ombre skein, which meant like it changed colors. So I do believe it started with this really nice ocean blue, and then it went into this like light blue teal, and then it ended with this purple. Now, when I originally started this, I was really thinking, oh, I'm gonna hate the way that the sleeves are gonna be a different color, and I'm not gonna like it because it's gonna be so drastic. But you know what? It's awesome. And it's probably just the size. I didn't change colors. This is all one ball of yarn. Now this is for the 3 to 6 month size. I do think one of my sleeves is longer than the other. But that's okay. Babies are shaped weird. I don't know, maybe one baby I give this to will have a longer arm than the other. Who knows? They probably won't even notice because it'll be rolled up. And yeah, it's so cute. It's such a great pattern. I love it. And you know what? I was knitting this, and what I'm finding right now with everything I'm knitting is I just want to knit more of that thing. So when I'm knitting my self-striping socks, I'm like, I want more self-striping socks. When I'm knitting baby items, I'm like, I want more baby items. Don't have a baby, don't have a child, just want to knit cute itty bitty things. So yeah, that's why I don't think I'll ever be a monogamous knitter, because I just want to make everything. But yeah, so this pattern took one ball of fingering weight yarn. I'll make it again, and I also have a same yarn in a like neon bright green that goes from like neon green to gray to black ombre, and I think I'll do the same sweater pattern, bigger size in that yarn, and do the green as the body, and then the black as like the edging and maybe into the sleeves. Black is a very daring color for a baby, but I think it's a great color because babies are pretty dirty, pretty messy, so that would be good. And the green on that would make it nice too. No plans of casting that on immediately, but definitely on my radar. Every time now I look in my stash, I'm looking at cute baby things I could make. So this is so far my favorite baby make. I also want to make some baby socks with some other yarn, but I really enjoyed this pattern. It comes in a huge variety of sizes, a huge variety of yarn weights you can use. Fingering DK worsted, I think the size goes from newborn up to 4 years, 2 years, newborn to 2 years, and then the kitty vertebrae size goes from 2 years to like 5 years maybe, and then there's a mama vertebrae size. So love it, and you can use any yarn for it. You could even do a really sweet like mini skeins along the back. That'd be really nice. I think this is fairly like could be a boy or girl sweater. The baby it was intended for, because of all of this going on, I don't think she'll be able to get it from me because she is due to arrive soon, and by the time I see her, she'll be way outgrown for this. So she's gonna get a different sweater, but I'm not sure which one yet. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Stay tuned for that. So baby will get a different sweater. And I have some leftovers from this, just from cutting different ends of it to get to the purple and whatnot. So that can go into my scrappy projects. And speaking of scrappy projects, let's take a look. So this is my Cozy Memories blanket. Been getting pretty far on it. Some of these ones down here with all the stitch markers are my new squares. Yeah, I really like it. It's a great blanket. It's totally wild and I love it. Totally wild minis I can put in there. Scrappy yarn, I love it. I do want to save myself striping yarn from socks to put into a crazy self-striping scrappy pair of socks. But right now I'm pulling from this bag of minis and whatnot. And this bag is from ZigZag Stitches. I got that at a previous Toronto Knitters Frolic. And I should mention that the Toronto Knitters Frolic or Toronto Knitters Guild make along. This can be entered because it is with a yarn from a vendor, Artfil, who would have been at the Frolic this year. Canadian yarn company, which is awesome. Yeah, so this Cozy Memories blanket has been getting some love, which I like. Yeah, and I'm just pulling out of this big bag of minis. I have more minis too, don't worry. I'm not at any shortage for minis. Really, really enjoying that. And I do like tell my family, you know, okay, pick out a color. Which color should I use? And everybody enjoys that, and we like to see it grow and whatnot. But one thing that was happening was doing the Cozy Memories blanket, I was still left with pieces of yarn. I still had scrap yarn from the Scrappy project after I put it into a scrappy, like started a scrap yarn, put it into a scrappy project, still have leftover scrap yarn. So, you know, I'm just using a lot of the same colors over and over and over again. So what I decided to do was take those small amounts, like this, which is not enough for a full square, which is fine because I'll put it into half of a square, but I would like to do something else with it. I want to get through all these yarns. I want to get rid of some stuff. Like, I just want it out. So the little leftovers like this, maybe some of these would fit, but I don't know. They are going into scrappy socks. So what I did with these was Started off with magic loop and 2 at a time socks. Absolutely hated it. Too much fiddling. I'm really not a fan of magic loop, I guess, on plain socks. Maybe if it was a patterned sock, I would enjoy that more. I just find it's a lot of fiddling when I can knit way faster just around and around and around if it's a plain patterned sock. Plain not patterned sock. So what I did was started with that magic loop and abandoned it and put them on 9-inch circulars. And what I'm doing is kind of messy, but these are them. They're so cute. I'm just doing them at the same time. No back and forth, all that stuff. I really just thought if I did them at the same time, it would be, well, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to do it that way, so I did it that way. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of yarn and I'm unwinding the whole thing of my little ball, taking both ends, casting them both on or adding them on, and then having this yarn in between. And what I'm doing is I'm just doing like, okay, so I did 5 rows on this one, do 5 rows on this one, and I'm counting the stripes. Is there easier ways to do this so you don't have a huge tail of yarn? Yeah, definitely. You could weigh your little balls of yarn. So in case I do decide to go over to the weighing side, I have a little tiny scale in my project bag. Yeah, but these are fun. And the more I knit on these, the more I'm like, oh, I want to do scrappy socks. So this is why I will always have a million things on the go, because I just want to do it all. But I really like these, and these are going to be a long haul project, but just getting rid of some of those minis, like some of the minis in here are minis from like the very beginning of that blanket. That blanket will just be the end of me if I still have more and more and more minis. Like if I've knit a whole square and then I still have this left, like it's a lot. So the one thing I haven't done is I haven't added any single ply yarn into these socks. Not for any particular reason, just don't know how it would hold on a sock. I do have an idea for my single ply, like merino, that kind of stuff. Like the ones like this, like it's not necessarily gonna last as a sock, but it was part of my impressionist shawl. I'm gonna add those into the blanket as much as I can, as much as it'll take, until that is like tiny, or put my single ply merino into a future scrappy project, like there's a Stephen West there's a million patterns that could use single ply and another yarn held double, maybe into some sort of fade to make like a thicker weight yarn. I don't know, I have a lot of ideas, but I think it's called the Flying Fringe Shawl, and it's by the dyer behind Hedgehog Fibers. Thinking that would be the perfect shawl to put the single ply merino into with a couple of full skeins of single ply merino. Perfect. Colorful wild shawl. So that's the plan for that. Long-term project. These are in my cute Moosey bag by Sheldridge Yarns. Yeah, and it has dog hair all over it, as it should. I love Canadian themed bags. Super cute. We got this at Sheldridge Yarns in the summer. My mom got it secretly for me and gave it to me for my birthday. Or Christmas or something like that. Yeah, so another thing I showed last time was the cowl, the 3-color cashmere cowl by Hohilo Catelli, and I'm working on that. I worked on it a lot since the last time we talked, but then I didn't do much of it lately, and I'll show you why. But not because of the cowl at all. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. And I was looking at the actual shawl, because she also has a shawl pattern called the 3-color cashmere shawl. And that looks just as scrumptious, and I think I will make that one day too. So I've knit that much from this Progress Keeper since the last time. So this is all with Hey Sister Yarn Co. yarn, who unfortunately is not dyeing yarn anymore. So I'm really glad I snagged this when I did, because I really like their yarn. Yeah, so this is like really nice rosy pink, like a dusty blush pink, the second color. I don't know, it's not really coming up as well. One thing I do wish I had done was, I don't really like these two, my color 2 and my color 3 next to each other. So I kind of wish I had done another gray stripe in between these two colors. On camera you can't tell, or on camera they look too similar, but they're really not. They're just a little too light to be next to each other, I think. I would have liked more contrast, but it's okay, because when I wear it, it'll be like scrunched down over my face, or over my, you won't even be able to tell. Yeah, so I really like this. So this will be done soon. Very soon. I think I have a lace, like to finish this piece with color 3, and then I think I have a lace repeat with color 2, and then I think I just have a little bit more stripes and then ribbing, and then I'll be done. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this. And have some interruption. I'm surprised Jasper didn't go, because that was my boyfriend, who Jasper is obsessed with. Obsessed. He's pretty much just giving me dirty looks because I'm talking. He would like me to shut up so he could sleep. Okay, so here is why that cowl is not finished. I cast on a little thing. Now, I couldn't help myself because since the last podcast, I don't know if this happened before the last podcast or not, but my grandmother is in a retirement home, and that is new since January. She went into a retirement home, which is great because she's getting tons of care, she's getting everything she needs, and thankfully the home that she's in does not have COVID. They are totally fine. They were pretty early on. They were pretty good, and they were early in the process of, like, near, I think it was early March, they shut everything down and no visitors were allowed in or out. So that's good. They were on top of it before things really hit the fan. So she is used to having somebody from our family visit her like every other day. We have a huge family, and the home she's in is nice and close to a lot of us, so somebody from our family visits her like every 2 days, and she's lost that. So now that's not happening. So everybody still calls her. We're talking to her a lot, but it is super sad, and she just misses us, and the home is doing such a great job, but you know, thankfully she can talk and she can be on the phone. She's there mentally, she has all that with her. So yeah, she just really misses us. So the home arranged for us to do a Zoom call. So we used Zoom and we did a call with her, and we had 10 little screens with like 2 people in each square, like 2 people to each camera kind of thing. We've got a huge family, so we had like 20 people on this Zoom call, and Oma just sitting in the boardroom at her home with having the screen, like the screen was up on this huge wall. They sent us photos of her. She looked like she was like in charge of the space commander. Like she looked like all these people on there, and she was so emotional, and she just misses every one of us. So I've been thinking about her a lot, and she really likes the shawl that I made, my impressionist shawl, the one by Helen Stewart. She loved the shape of it, she loved the colors, so I thought I would make her a little shawl. So this is the Spindrift Shawl, and it is by Helen Stewart from the Curious Handmade, and it's just like a tiny little one skein of fingering weight shawlette kind of thing. And I think this would be perfect for her because it's not too long, it wouldn't drag, it would just fit around her shoulders perfectly. So I'm going to make this for her and wash it, block it, send it to her with a little note that just says, until we can hug you again, put this on your, you know, maybe this shawl can hug you or whatever. So I picked out the yarn with my mom from my stash, and we picked this beautiful yarn from Primrose Yarn Co. I got this from the Knitting Loft in Toronto, and this is called Havana. And it's a 2-ply fingering weight. It's really nice yarn to work with. I love the color. And my one thing is I did go down a needle size because I tend to be a pretty loose knitter. So I went down a needle size, and kind of thinking that maybe I shouldn't have done that because it's a shawl. You kind of want it to be drapey. It's not a garment. So we'll see if by the time I wash it and block it, if it's too small and more of a scarf, I'll probably still give it to her, but also make another one of these shawls or make a different shawl with a different yarn. I'm at 50%, so I'm not about to rip back and play with needle size when I can just finish it, start a new thing, because I really like this knit. I would totally knit this again. It's been so great, especially because you just want something easy. I mean, her patterns are so incredible. I'll just show you, like, without showing you the secret sauce. She has everything, like, charted. So you can see, like, well, I don't know, you can see what to do for your rows, and then here you've got, like, your stitch count, what percentage you're done, your instructions are here. So I love the way that she writes her patterns. Just tick off every box as I come to it. Now this isn't a pattern you'll find in Ravelry, I believe. This you can find on Helen Stewart's website. So if you go to curioushandmade.com, maybe, it's on her website if you sign up for her newsletter. Once you sign up for her newsletter, you get this pattern as a free pattern and emails to do a workshop, a shawl workshop. So she, like, not only holds your hand with writing the pattern, but with instructions of the shawl, how to do it and whatnot. It is the perfect beginner shawl, I think. And I actually know that when I do give it to Oma, the ladies at her home that she's living at will ask her a lot of questions about it, because when I've been there before with knitted items, I get invited to knitting group there, and everyone has lots of questions. So I think that this would be a great shawl for anybody, any skill level. You literally have to know to, like, knit, purl, yarn over, knit two together. That's like it. That's all you have to know how to do. It's a great pattern, and even if you're not a beginner, still a great, beautiful shawl. Great. So this is where I'm at. This is 50%, guys. So I've put in little markers here. So this is like the top of the shawl. Okay, so I hope the color is true. So, like, I got to here on day 1. So I'm putting markers every day. So that's how far I got on day 1. Everything's backwards, so you'd think this would be easy for me since I'm dyslexic, so everything's backwards for me anyway, but it's not. Okay, why don't I do it like this? I'm holding it upside down. Okay, so lots of hair on there. So day 1, I got to here. It's a lot for day 1. But remember, oh, sorry, I guess day 1 would be like here. Okay. Day 2 is like here. Oh my God. Okay, day 2 is here. Mind you, the rows are shorter, so that makes a difference. Probably binge watched something that day. Day 3, your rows are getting longer. You're probably in the hundreds to 200s. Day 4, definitely in the 200s. And then now I'm at 50%. I'm beginning my lace detail, which is super easy, but so nice. Thinking I'll have enough yarn left over to do a square, put in some scrappy sock yarn socks, do a picot bind off. I don't know, something beautiful and crazy. Not that crazy. Almost pretty classic. Yeah, I think she'll like it, and she will probably wear it and love it. So I am in the pattern, just like right here, that first detailing, and we got a couple more rows to go, and then I'm done. I'm at 50%. Like, I'll be done this by the next time I podcast. And I just won't podcast till I'm done it. How about that? Yeah, so that's exciting. So those are my finished objects. I have to cast on my other Lucille sock and hide those from the boyfriend. Yeah. What are you guys up to? Oh, I wanted to say thank you so much for all the comments and all of the likes and subscribers that I've been getting. I'm really bad at thanking you guys, which I'm sorry about, but I just want to say thank you so much for the comments. One of my friends from Knitting Guild, she found me, Ramona. Thank you so much for all your comments. That's awesome. Yeah, I just really love the love. It's great. What are you guys up to? Are you guys knitting more? Are you trying other crafts? Are you planning on your garden? I don't know. What are people up to? Are they reading more? Is there any good things you're getting done with this time that we have now? Honestly, I'm like a whirlwind of emotions all day, all the time. Sometimes I'm like super happy and excited that I can just chill and sleep in. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I need some structure and I need to do something. So one thing I did do was I did start like a mini little bullet journal. I didn't do anything fancy for this. I already had an empty notebook. And I watched some like YouTube videos on bullet journaling and said, wow, those are really pretty. Yeah, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to just do something super easy, like I mean, it helps if I write in it. I didn't really write in it yesterday. Okay, so here we go. This is way easier than starting a brand new random journal, like a calendar. What I've done in the past, like every single year, I always like buy a calendar, a day planner, and I'm like, I'm going to use this. I'm going to do this. And I get to like March, and then I'm like, yeah, no, that doesn't fit in my purse, or like, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, I like this idea because I can kind of come and go from it if I want, make it a little simpler. So I have my little key here. So I put like little circle and like color in the circle if it's completed, if it's in progress, have other little things. So, okay, so like I put in here workout, I don't know, like walk dogs. That's the other thing, is I'm making it easy. You know, I'm putting things in here that seem mundane and mindless to make me feel like my day is better. So I'll put in here like empty the dishwasher. Oh, easy, check. Have a shower. Easy, check. Do something more difficult like pick up dog poo. But I'll do it. But I'm just like trying to, I'll even put my knitting goals in here. That's another thing, like a lot of regular planners, they don't have a spot for knitting, and they should. So I'm going to try my hardest to carry this on throughout the year as well as I can. If I can't and I decide to come back to it, it's just in here. It's not wasting any book, any extra paper, nothing like that. And I didn't get that fancy. Like other videos I watched were like super beautiful and fancy. This is the extent of my fanciness. is like highlighting the date. And then I have like goals, house stuff, workout, knitting, other. And those can change. So I've put in for like April, the rest of my thingies here. And like my knitting goals are go to the next percentage of my shawl, this beautiful Helen Stewart Spindrift shawl, and make a blanket square. You know, by the time I get to May, or end of April, let's say, I have it blank so that I can just add whatever is happening then at that time. Maybe by then I'll be gardening. I doubt it. I probably won't garden. Probably not. I probably won't do that. But maybe somehow I will do that and I'll want to do that. I can add it into here. Yeah, personally, I'm not really much of a gardener, but other people I live with are, and I like to watch them. I don't know. I like the cucumbers and the tomatoes that we get. But yeah, I'm not out there digging. Actually, this one loves to dig. If you're gardening and he's with you, he will do all your digging for you. All you have to do is tell him to dig, and he will dig. It might not be where you want it to be, but he will dig. Yeah. And if you go on my Instagram, which is Collette Knits on Instagram, you could see some videos of him digging and then rolling and then eating the dirt or the sand. Yeah, he's a hoot. You wouldn't think it now, but he's a hoot. Yeah, so I think that's it. I mean, I'll pop on again when I finish some stuff, but I just wanted to talk, and I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's keeping their chin up and, you know, trying to just take this all in as well as they can. Yeah, it sucks, but I don't know. We gotta stay home, get well together and stay home, or be out in the world and get sick together. So, yeah, it really is a luxury. It really is a lucky thing to have a home that we can stay home in. So that's huge as well. So yeah, I just hope everybody's good physically, mentally. Yeah, I'm glad I have a stash, because I'm glad I have whips like that I've been working on. I can pull those out and do them. Yeah, I just hope everybody's well. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in the baby gift bin for a baby we don't know, because this will be too small by the time the baby it was for comes around. So I'm going to make that other baby a bigger size, but I will do that later. Finishing this baby first. The shawl for Oma is first off the needles. So I got lots of knitting to do, and thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me all the things. I love reading those comments, and yeah, enjoy. Happy knitting, everybody. Bye-bye.